What is up, guys? We are back with another video, and today we're checking out this case right here, which is Thermaltake's Tower 100. Now, the Tower 100 has been out for a while, and it's basically Thermaltake's sort of smaller version of their massive Tower 900 made for mini ITX builds. And just recently, they announced new colors, and one of those new colors is Racing Green, which you see right here. So let's go ahead and take a look. As we take a look here at the Tower 100, it is a smaller version of, again, that massive Tower 900. And as far as the design of the case, you know, a lot of people say it looks like a popcorn machine. I would say it kind of looks like a 3D printer, but it's really made to show off all of your hardware inside. And because of that, it is a little bit larger than a lot of the mini ITX cases that are out there. I'll go ahead and put the official dimensions, you know, sort of like right here, so you can go ahead and see. But again, it is larger than a lot of mini ITX cases out there, but it's still going to be smaller than, say, a typical mid-tower, so it's going to easily be able to fit on your desk, no problem. As far as this Racing Green color, which again is one of the newer colors that has been released, it's a darker green, and I actually really like it. I don't think I've ever seen a case come stock this color before. If we start at the front of the case, we have one of the 3 tempered glass panels. This panel is the largest and basically allows you to see everything that's going to be installed in the top compartment of the case. If we move up to the top left corner of the case, you'll find your buttons and connections. There are LEDs for your power and hard drive activity, a large power button, smaller reset button, audio jacks, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port. If we move up to the top of the case, it is completely ventilated and has an integrated filter. If we press down on it, it will release, and you know, if you got this case stock, it would reveal a 120 millimeter cooling fan. But of course, since we have our AIO installed, that is up there. The side panels on this case are pretty much identical, with a split panel that's half tempered glass and half ventilation with an integrated filter. There's also ventilation towards the bottom of the case. The rear panel of the case features a large ventilated section with a magnetic removable filter. Behind this filter is your second 120 millimeter fan. Towards the bottom of the case, you do have your power supply mounts, and then below that, there is a filter that pulls out. To remove the rear panel of the case, all you have to do is loosen 4 thumb screws. Now, there's typically a storage bracket on the back side of the motherboard tray, but we went ahead and removed it for our installation. Now, this bracket will support 2 2.5-inch SSDs or 2 3.5-inch typical hard drives. Now, if you opt to install your 3.5-inch hard drives, you will have to remove the rear fan. There are 2 cutouts on the motherboard tray. One's for installing an aftermarket CPU cooler, and the second is for installing your M.2 drive on the back side of your mini ITX motherboard. Now, I really don't like it that the rear fan is attached to the panel. This means that every time you open your case, you kind of have to either be careful, or you're gonna have to unplug that fan to fully remove the panel. You might be wondering how to remove the front and side panels of the case. What you need to do is remove 5 screws at the top of the case, and then the bezel will easily pull off. From there, you can lift up each panel pretty easily. With the panels removed, looking straight on, we have our mini ITX motherboard. And as you can see, we have a 120 millimeter AIO installed. Now, this is great, but with the larger size of the case, it would have been nice to have at least support for a 240 millimeter AIO. On one side of the case is where you're going to go ahead and install your graphics card. There's support for 3 slot cards all the way up to 330 millimeters in length, and they slot in quite easily. On the opposite side are 2 2.5-inch SSD mounts, which are removable. These plus the storage bracket on the back of the motherboard tray give you a total of 4 hard drives that you can install. There is a ventilated panel that separates the top and bottom compartments of the case. It has cable routing holes built in and has support for an additional 120 or 140 millimeter fan. You can remove the 3 remaining small panels on the case as they are simply held into place with thumb screws. These panels feature removable filters. With them removed, the rest of the bottom of the case is made to house your power supply and hide cables. For those wondering, you have room for a full ATX power supply up to 180 millimeters. As we come to the end here, I have to say that I really like this case. There's not many cases that allow you, or not many mini ITX cases, let's say, that really allow you to show off your hardware in a way like the Tower 100 allows you to do. I'm a PC builder. You can see the PC behind me. I like showing off my PC build. If I'm building something, I want it to have a tempered glass panel. I want to show off my build. I like looking at it while I'm working. You like how it looks on your desk. So this allows you to really do that in a mini ITX form factor. All the different color options are great now. You have all of the new ones, which you have the gold, you have the turquoise, you have the racing green, which we have here. I believe they have pink now too, plus the stock options, which were black and white. All of those different color options sitting on your desk, this is gonna look pretty awesome. Another thing I really like about this case is that it is a little bit bigger than most mini ITX cases out there. A lot of mini ITX cases are made to be as small as possible. This is a little bit bigger, which means you can fit a lot of hardware inside. Graphics card support up to 330 millimeters. Full ATX power supply support up to 180 millimeters, and even CPU coolers up to 190 millimeters. That plus the ability to install up to 4 hard drives. I mean, you can easily have a badass system in this small form factor. The only thing I thought this case was missing was, there is support for an AIO. Of course, we have one installed, but it's only 120 millimeter AIO support. I think with one of these side panels, they could have added support for a 240 millimeter AIO. That's kind of the only downside. The other downside is, you install your power supply from the back and then you have to route all of your cables back up around. That becomes a little tedious when it comes to your installation, but I think any mini ITX installation is pretty tedious, just because you're kind of, you don't have a whole lot of room to work with. But again, as I said, this is a little bit of a larger case, so the installation's not all that bad. Now this case is going to be selling for $119.99 on Amazon, which I think is a great deal for what you're getting. And as I said, all the different color options are pretty cool. One more thing about those color options is that Thermaltake has released special editions of their Tough RAM RGB memory that are the same color as the case. So they have, a racing green version, they have a gold version, they have the turquoise version. So if you're building a new system and you're looking at getting matching memory, you can actually match your memory now to the case, which I think is pretty cool. Now, if you have any questions about this case, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe if you enjoy our content. We'll see you guys in the next video.